Hey there. So it's Japan Day 19, June 5th. Um, and yeah, it's Thursday, so it's my last 2 days here. Day and a half really. And I don't really have anything like particularly exciting to talk about, but I had kind of like a weird experience last night that I guess I want to talk about before I forget it because I don't know, it's a lot to process. So Chana's father came over, um, and before he came over, she warned me. She said, he talks a lot. If you want to like escape, just like give me a wink. And I thought, okay, whatever. But he did end up talking at me for 4 hours straight, which was something. Um, yeah, so he started out by saying that he like sorry, I had to type something. He like that his parents divorced when he was young, and that after that his dad dated a lot of foreign women, so he had like the blood of an international gigolo. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he started talking about how like through the power of will he changed his whole personality because he realized that you know he was the man and had to take care of his mother and sister. So I was already like, all right, whatever. um he apparently worked in America for a long time for AIG. um so his English was, he knew a lot of words, but his grammar was not always so great. So a lot of the time, I only half understood what he was trying to talk about. Like, I understood what he was saying, but the core of his thoughts was totally elusive. I didn't know where he was going with anything. Um, and then, yeah, I guess he majored in chemical engineering, but then ended up as just a manager and then went back to school for social psychology. So now he knows all psychology um, ever. And so this led into a lot of very uh, peculiar and I felt probably misinformed scientific claims that it was quite difficult to just sit through. But, I A, didn't want to be rude, and B, didn't have the language skills to adequately convey what what I felt was wrong with his position in Japanese. Um, so, for example, uh, so the digit ratio of fingers in human beings with who are predominantly who produce more testosterone than estrogen, this finger is longer than this finger. But since I have more estrogen than testosterone, this finger is longer than this finger. Um, this is true, but he he asked me what my major was, and I said math, and then he said, "Can I see your hand so I can look at the ratio of your fingers?" And then when he saw that I had the what is thought of as the typically female digit ratio, he was like, "Wow, do you really like math? Is math hard for you? Like, man brains are better at math." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then he smokes, and he said that like science supports that if you take a lot of vitamin C, it counteracts the nicotine, so you don't get lung cancer. And I was like totally like bewildered by that claim. Um, and yeah, he says that, or what I think he was saying was that as in a managerial position, a lot of his job involved consulting with clients and, you know, giving them advice on what to do with their company, or what to do with a particular asset. And he said that uh, this is his theory that men evolution because men had to fight animals because their job was to hunt and fight animals, their brains are always prepared for the worst case scenario. But because women don't, their brains are not. So his style of advice is to scold people, and women don't like that, so he doesn't consult with women. So it it was all very like surreal. Um, and I think Chana was like quite embarrassed, and I felt pretty bad for her. Um, yeah. So, and then he showed me his like the abstract of one of the papers he wrote, which I guess was based on the theory that there are three tiers of people. There's the top tier of people who are creative and altruistic, who, you know, are like the best kind of workers. And then there's the middle people who are good at following orders but aren't creative or interesting in any way. And then there's the bottom tier of people who he said are just Americans, or who is best exemplified by Americans who are clever but complain a lot and aren't really good at anything useful. Um, so, like, that was his entire thesis. And then he said that he, like, statistically proved connection, like, for each level of people, he proved, like, connections between, like, different areas of thinking. Like, for example, the lowest tier of people are good at, like, book learning and memorization, but are terrible at organization and people skills. And I don't know. It was kind of hard to understand because it was all written in Japanese, but I don't know. The premise seemed flawed to me. And I have no idea what his statistical methods were, let alone. So, anyway, I'm not really going anywhere with this, but it was very odd, and uh, I just I didn't particularly enjoy his company, but that happened. That was the thing that happened here. So, that's all I really have to say about that. um, yeah, see you guys later. I don't know what to say.